答えは常に塔の上にある。
間に合う。間に合ったな。アリーナに売店ぐらいあるよな。
After school.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here with a new episode for the Webtoon segment, a little earlier than it normally should be, but, scheduling conflicts, so this one's coming out a week early. Before we get in, no new tower yet, no updates. Just still waiting, hoping SIU gets better,
I hope he comes down, with some really good content. I'm sure we're going to get something good, because right now, this last arc that we left off at is just, it's real spicy.
But before we actually get into the episode here for the manhwas, one new one coming out. It is a thriller horror one. You guys might have seen this. I might have shared it. I don't remember. But it's called Death Wish. And this is being written and drawn by the team over at Zombie Makeout Club. Now, this is a clothing brand. I like their art style. It's really good stuff. They threw in a teaser on Webtoons already. It's like 2-3 pages. It's really just to show what they're going to be doing. That's premiering August 10th, and it's going to be weekly every Monday. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, see what's going on over there. Just check it out. I think the art's really good. It's every now and then you got to have one of those messed up horror series in your catalog when you're reading.
Well, you have to.
So yeah, man, that'll be cool. Can't wait to check it out. We'll see next episode. 2 chapters should be out when we record that, so I'll get back to you guys, see if that's worth looking at. Let's go ahead and get into this episode. Coming in hot. We were just going to do one solid arc for the national tournament, but you know what? After talking to Oscar off air, I was like, man, actually there's a lot of content to go over in these chapters, so we're going to split into 2 parts. So this is the first part. We're covering chapters 42 to 60, and we're really getting to the meat of the series.
Dude, this was real good, man. Really, really nice stuff. Big King of Fighter vibes. And just, like you said, a lot of content.
Yeah, we're finally introduced. We haven't mentioned it before, I don't think, but there are other bracelets that they wear during the tournaments. It shows their HP, their level. But there was a third thing it shows called GP. And we didn't get any ideas into what that was, but we did hear they explain God points, aka borrowed power.
I was going to ask what that meant. God, so it's really God points.
God points, yeah. And when we see it being used in one of the tournaments, you lose points when you use it. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is like a special meter in a fighting game. People are getting stands now. A lot of variation, I gotta say, and they're all really nice.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, man, being Persona fanboy, when I saw, was it Q, pull out his?
Yeah.
I was like, this dude really is gonna pull out the Joker. Dude, what kind of Persona nonsense is this? But, I mean, it was pretty cool, man. Like, his is pretty cool, and then following everybody else's. Those were all really nice. It gave me, it reminded me of the ancient power that Ivankyo has in Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And also, stands as well.
And I gotta say, the creativity with Q's borrowed power was really great. The fact that all the playing cards can be used.
Dude, when he was fighting that, I can't remember his name, the dude with the wings, and he threw the card, and then, you can see real clearly there's the card stuck in his wing. And then chops it up. I was like, that's smart. That's a really good one right there.
Yeah, nice detail. It makes you appreciate him more because he's like, oh, now I should let me go back. Let me pay attention again. Like, was that really there in the previous one? And sure enough, it was. It's like, that's nice.
So from the wiki, it says his name is Axley.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Nox is the this organization with all the hoods. And when we got the reveal of their outfits before they change into normal clothes, I was like, man, this is the most anime fighting game bullshit when it comes to the design choices, right? Like some Guilty Gear kind of shit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm coming down to the stage with just my regular cloak. I'm gonna take it off. Now we're about to do some battle. Like this just screams fighting game energy.
It really does, because and then the girl that he's with, Saturn, even her design, you could really tell that's heavily inspired by a few characters, right? Those, what's her name in Guilty Gear with the anchor?
Oh, May.
Yeah, something like that. Other characters where they carry the big ass weapons.
Dude, did you get big Trigon vibes from her?
Oh
because
yeah,
I sure did.
of course. I was like, look,
I saw that. I was like, come on, man.
Is that my boy Wolfwood? What are we doing here?
Yeah. That's his sister, dude. She came out for a cameo.
Yeah, so man, yeah, that when those fights happened, and I liked how it happened in between the tournament when that was being introduced in the tournament.
It was definitely a good follow up for it.
Yeah, it's a good contrast, you know, because like, okay, here's what our main characters can do, and then here's what our main characters are gonna have to build towards eventually.
So it's like they're using their level 1 special, but this is like their level 3.
It's like when they activate the burst limit.
Dude, when they use their X Factor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those fights got really intense, just like when Taijin was fighting in the previous arc. You know, it's getting more towards that ridiculous stuff. Even when O showed up with his dragon.
Oh, dude, yeah. And he was like, wait, I can't use it. It's going to destroy the whole building. I thought that was pretty cool, too. They have a shielding around the building, so they don't really, harm the citizens. So that was pretty cool to see.
I mean, we do get a little bit more of there, but for the most part, this section of the arc really focuses on the tournament, which I like. We get a whole introduction to all the important characters in Chapter 43. We get a brief look at, what their character types are. And of course, being a manhwa, we're going to have that one character that's like a huge-ass weeb.
Oh, dude, the Sharingan contacts, dude, that was hilarious.
That's my homeboy, dude. Him and his big dumb anime references, dude.
And I like because it shows the introduction, so like where they're from, their age, and what's their fighting style. His is Japanese manga protagonist martial arts.
Yeah.
Everything he's seen and read, man. It's just perfect.
Dude, and then I love how the person on his team was, "Are you really not gonna change your wish?" And he was like, "No, I need to know the endings to all these different mangas, dude.
Yup.
Two Piece, Naruto, fucking
Berserker.
Brunch." Yeah, dude. It was great. That was definitely great.
Literally us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. It was funny to see, man. And then here's one of the surprise ones where I was like, wait, why is this guy, is he even allowed to be here? Was Pumguang Jin? Because like it says his age and he's 38 years old, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, dude, his character was fun though, man. That was definitely like a good slice of life right there for him. Just that whole team in general.
Yeah.
Especially with that girl, man. She was like, oh, what's her name? Jangmi?
Yeah,
dude.
Jangmi Gang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gang, gang.
Gang.
But I will say the biggest disappointment in this whole thing was Jugok Jean or John, who was the successor of the pretty much the grandson of the member of the Six.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dude, he's about to be badass, man. He's gonna be some cool shit. But dude, this guy got rocked hard.
And this shows like last time we talked, you wanted to see more from Gang in the previous tournament, but then he's like, "Oh, fuck this shit, dude! I'm traumatized." Now we have this character to come in and fill in those shoes for the ridiculous powerhouse, Jagal. Yeah, but I had a double take. I was like, "All right, yeah, this guy likes One Piece. Okay." For sure he likes One Piece, because here more in this chapter, or in this arc, we see like Mira's sort of acting like Nami of the group. And then Mori's just more Luffy energy the entire time. And I gotta say, man, the fights in the first few rounds were really solid, man. It was just funny. I'm like, oh, of course Morijin's gonna handicap himself because
he didn't think that his new ability did anything. I was like, oh, come on, man. But what I liked is that, Daiwi just came in and just cleaned house, dude.
Yeah, truly the Zoro of the group.
100%.
One interaction I liked with him and Mira was when she won her round against Jang by, releasing, letting go of her sword and just countering with her fists. And then we see Daiwi just think, if she would have done that in the previous tournament, I probably would have lost.
Yep. Also, the thing I like too is when he swapped out with her and he did that one move against that dude to finish it off. She's like, I remember that one. I don't like that move. She started getting PTSD. Like, nah, that ain't for me.
Yeah, I gotta say, for the most part, I think the balance between the humor and the action is pretty good.
Yep, and I want to say the same thing with the art style too, because when it does get humorous, they got those chibi little art style, which is really really great. It works out, and then when they get serious, they go into the really detailed stuff.
And you can really tell with Mori Jin as well, based off of his pupils. He has that weird like star pupil, and it really only shows up when he starts to get serious, like when he starts the first round here. It goes like that, and then the final page for the last chapter, 60, right? His eyes get serious when he looks at that photo that he gets. And I think it's good to have it like that, since his eyes look so weird like that. It's good to only bring that in every now and then.
Right, I completely agree.
One thing I like that they do here for God of High School, it's a lot like all the manhwas. It'll have like a last time on segment before we get to the title of the chapters. But what I like is on the title page itself, above the logo, we have like the character select screen for what's going to happen in the chapter. I like that a lot.
Dude, I started noticing that. I was like, that's pretty cool. That's a really nice touch.
Yeah, and I'm like, truly, yeah, now we're in the real fighting game stuff. I kept thinking of like Tekken Tag 2, when like the characters will do their thing and then it'll just boom versus.
Dude, or like Street Fighter X Tekken. Same deal.
Mm-hmm. One thing I do appreciate is, again, like he really knows how to trim the fat when it comes to traditional tournament arcs or just storytelling in general. The flashbacks with all the new contestants, they don't really drag enough. They just give you the essentials of what we need for the reason that they're there for the tournament and their personality. And then even in the in-betweens, it doesn't drag on.
No, I completely agree. He's really got it down to a science, and he's really successful at it. Even when pulling in the GP, when he's going back and forth between like, okay, here's a tournament, but here's a GP, like we mentioned earlier. Like he does it really, really well. I mean, I didn't lose focus at all. It was kind of like, okay, cool. Now we're talking about this. That's great. It only went on for so long. Now we're going back to, the main story.
Yeah, definitely. And man, once it starts to get serious on both ends of the Q fight and the tournament, man, I was like, oh, he's literally cutting this guy's arms off. Okay. And it like starts to get a little dark in those fights, and I was like, I appreciate this.
Dude, you know who I thought of when he was fighting him? What was that that dude's name from the Akatsuki and Naruto Shippuden, the one who can't die, the priest?
Oh, yeah. What is his name? It's like Hiden or something?
I think so. But yeah, that's the vibes that I got.
Yep, it is. Damn, I'm a Naruto fan.
Damn, dude, look at you.
Damn. And I gotta say, again, the variation in the GP powers is cool, because when Exley shows up, he gets his wings that act as shields. And then we got the Shadow Jutsu from Saturn.
And all the variations are really, really nice, and just like what they can do with them. Like I liked how she had that whole little, beast come out of nowhere, try to swallow up O, and then he had his dragon come out and like swallow it back, and was like, just keep biting down on it. It's almost like they're a little sentient in their own way, which is pretty neat to see.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah, it's gonna be like a White Snake and Jojolian. They're gonna start talking eventually. But one thing to point out in this intense fight with QO and these two guys, actually in
Saturn.
Yeah, it's like in Gintama, this guy loves it when it's like, ooh, you almost got me, or oh man, he almost caught me, right? It's like, why did you stop? I could have, just got him with my scythe. I noticed that a lot in a lot of these fights, especially when Mori Jin he goes to shake that guy's hand. Was it Eplo Park?
Yeah, his grandfather's friends, like in the military's grandson. Yeah.
Which I thought was cool to have another form of Taekwondo, right? But it's its own style, because it's being adapted from a different martial arts. That's fun to see.
And the fact that he doesn't really use the GP either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's mention when the main guys that Mujin Park is part of are called the Sixth, as we find out. They have a conversation, and they talk about borrowed users and these other fighters called genuine fighters, and Taijin is actually one of them. So I'm interested to see when we get more info on that.
I'd like to see more of the debate too of why there's that battle. Like, oh, if you have GP, are you like significantly weaker than somebody who doesn't use GP, or vice versa?
Mm-hmm.
Because that clearly seems to be a big topic, towards the end of, reaching chapter 60.
Yeah, especially on Mori Jin's end. So there was like a month time skip between these arcs, and that was mainly for the characters to train. And he didn't do jack shit. He just read a book, and that was it.
Exactly.
And he just hung out.
I thought that was pretty great. He's like, "What'd you learn?" He's all, "Nothing.
Yeah,
I didn't do a damn thing."
yeah. Again, it's very more a sense towards Luffy, right? Because we never really see Luffy train, right? We always he's like, "Oh, I just have to figure it out," and he'll get smarter each fight. At least at this point into whatever year this came out on, because if Naruto and Bleach were still going on, then clearly that was like pre-Luffy learning from other people.
Right. It would have to be like pre-Shippuden and pre-time skip.
Mm-hmm. But I liked what he said when he finally saw GP power, and he said he's like, it actually looks pretty weak. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I like that too. It's like, okay, so then what do you have, like underneath your sleeve?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm pretty sure that's where those whole was it the God pellets that he ate in the previous arc might come into play.
Oh yeah, the divine pellets, I think.
I feel like that still is gonna have a pretty big role following the rest of this arc.
And man, going through the chapters, I was like, gosh, just like in Tower when we talked about those chapters, when they translate the sound effects, it could be hilarious sometimes. Because there's the scene where Mira's clashing with Jang, and then it just says chunk on the bottom.
So good.
I liked her fight a lot, because the last time we really saw her get serious was, I think, at the wedding, when she wasn't injured, because she got her ass fucking beat by Daiwei. And, I wish they would have explained it more about the borrowed power stuff. Maybe they will later on. But since they kind of act like stands and power-ups, like, how does that look to the audience that's watching?
Right. That's a really good point. I was thinking about that, too.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Because there's a shot when Daiwei's fighting the 38-year-old, and, he's holding his power, which is like a hammer, because he's a laborer, right? That's his job. And it's just like his stance that he's doing. I'm thinking, well, like, he's doing that, but do they see the hammer? Like, does the audience see the hammer, or do only people who can fight using borrowed power see it?
Right, or does he look like he's just, like, taking a big squat?
Yeah, is he LARPing, bro? What's going on? I guess, yeah, just to end the segment, man, the last thing we saw with Mori Jin, I really liked a lot. We got to look at his apartment or wherever he's living, and it's empty. He literally has nothing but a bag of clothes that were just cleaned. This is really all he has. It kind of explains his personality as well. Always trying to be happy because, there's really nothing else to do when he's at home by himself.
Right, exactly. Like, he doesn't really need anything else either. The one thing I thought was pretty funny and interesting was how he had a picture with him and, like, two random-ass people.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, Grandpa said it would be weird if I didn't have a picture of, me with, like, a family photo in here. I was like, dude, it's even weird if you have it with some random-ass people. Come on, man.
And it also shows more about his character of how he doesn't want to be a burden to anyone, right? Because it was his birthday in chapter, I think, 58, and he invited everybody over just to hang out, and they said, oh, no, we're busy. And he goes home, and he's just like, it's like, oh, well, I don't want to be a bother or whatever. But then when they showed up, it was all nice and wholesome. Everyone was having a good time.
Yeah, I really liked that piece. That was nice.
And I should note here that we got that flashback, right, when his grandpa sent him off and they took the picture. That part where Taijin's telling Mori, like, make sure you go to school and make friends and all that. That's how the anime started in episode 1. Yeah, they brought that in. And I was like, okay, that's how we're starting the anime. I mean, it is pretty anime to do that, to pull something like that in for our main character. But yeah, I don't know.
Exactly, I feel that.
But I guess that's just anime rule.
Yeah, I guess it is. Pointed it out best. Somebody, I think it was Mother's Basement. They pointed out best, like, it's a different form of media, so we have to structure it like that form of media, or else it just won't go well.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of the doubt I'll give to some series. I will say though, I saw it on Twitter, the fight with Mori Jin and Daiwei.
Dude, it was so good.
Man, that's a lot of budget that Crunchyroll's dishing out for this anime.
That's a lot of money. But they did a phenomenal job. They killed it.
Yeah, it got really, really anime because they're flying in the air and stuff. And I'm like, I mean, that happens sometimes, but like, goddamn, they just want to show off what they can do.
And the whole Street Fighter 4 scene, like, that was clean.
So the very end of chapter 60 has me hyped to continue reading as Mori's going through his normal stuff. A random person rolls up, gives him a picture, and it's a picture of Taijin chained up. And that's when we get the real expression change on Mori.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen here, because the last time we saw Taijin, it wasn't looking too good for him, man. Not gonna lie.
And I think the tournament structure, like back-to-back tournaments, is great for the series. With our main characters, they don't really have a thing that they're doing at the moment. They were just like, oh, I mean, sure, I guess I'll do this tournament, and I have a wish to do, right? So they have that in mind, but if they weren't doing the tournament, then, they wouldn't really be connected to the bigger world that's going on right now. So I like how it's being structured.
Dude, I do want to say, I forgot to mention this earlier, but when I was reading this earlier today, this popped in my head. This is literally just Dark World Tournament.
Yeah, basically, right? And I think, what's great about that is it gives the in-between moments more intensity, because there's a time limit to what they're going to be able to do, because we have to go back to the tournament eventually. So we have to get serious very early on into the whatever they're going to get into.
The photo that he got was just Yusuke realizing that Genkai's about to die.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, exactly. So now let's get into it, man. Chapter 294 of Lookism, right? Party of Workers. Man, this is a good-ass chapter.
Dude, I was reading this weekend, and I was slamming her table, and she was like, what's up? I was like, oh my god, you don't understand, dude. It's so much hype in this chapter right now, man. It's so fucking good. Oh, so much action coming out from this one, dude. I'm gonna say right now, I did not think Daniel was that smart.
He was a sleeper, for sure. Up until now, this point, he's like, what?
I thought this dude just wanted... Dude, I just thought he wanted to fight and call it a day and go home, dude. But no, this guy's like, nah, dude, we gotta think about this one. We really gotta go at this the right way. Dude, Warren Che was acting pretty much just like Vasco this whole time. But, obviously...
Honestly, yeah, he's not that much better.
Right, but, yeah, I mean, there was a plan for it. But can I say the one thing that really fucked me up in this chapter that I was, slapping the table with was finding out that the president, this dude, was the fucking streamer.
Oh,
yeah, man.
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that's how this all came to be, because when we saw that scene happen with him in the room, I was like, well, how do we get from point A to point B? That never really was talked about. I was like, I'm sure we'll get there eventually, but damn, that's crazy.
And see, I didn't realize, I'm like, is he really that short? They never drew him to be that short. He was always this intimidating aura when he was just in his normal Buddha-ass form.
Yep.
Right? With different angles and all that. Just so many smart stuff happening here, man. I really love it.
Dude, and then the switch over to Fat Daniel, then breaking through the glass.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, and honestly, I was really surprised to see having Daniel waking up, and I was like, okay, so this is part of the plan here. I like it, and I was expecting when the president was thinking that Samuel was the one behind it. I was surprised Fat Daniel didn't try to coerce him into believing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it still gets to the same result, I guess. Anyways, him beating up Samuel on the car, getting everybody there.
Also, I do like how now all of a sudden Gunn has realized that there's something else going on in Daniel's life. When he was like, he must have an associate that he trusts pretty well. It's like, I wouldn't call him an associate. That's just him, my guy.
Yeah, that's the one interesting thing about this with Goo and Gunn is that they don't know about Daniel's dual body thing. I guess only Crystal's dad really knows.
See, and you would have thought that he would have told him, but there must be a reason for it. I've started to come up with a theory, but I'm going to wait. I need to put it on the whiteboard and draw it out first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Because there's a lot of ways that this can go, but this might be one of my favorite arcs so far.
I like how Warren's just like, now this is a combination you don't see very often, but he's like saying it quietly.
Yeah.
And Daniel's like, bro, speak up. Yeah, honestly, yeah, really fantastic chapter, man. They pulled in all the pieces together. You know, I really like it because the part with Fat Daniel taking the padlock off of his glasses was great, because that to me that says like, oh yeah, Daniel really thought out this plan.
Yep, he really did.
Yeah. For the most part, he was like, oh, I don't remember the combination for this. And maybe it was for a gag, but I feel like he really didn't remember it. Now that he had to actually sit down and think, he had to remember it himself. And I like that.
Also, you know, I feel like this might happen. Maybe it won't. But if for any reason that, you know, Pretty Daniel gets knocked out and then he goes back to Fat Daniel, I would have loved to see that fight go down between him and the president. That would have been so fucking cool.
Yeah, I want to say, I mean, I don't know, we'll see what happens, right, with the next chapter, because they have to fight off all these grunts first before they could fight Manager Kim, Samuel, and the president. Right? And if it's just the two of them right now?
Honestly, I feel like Daniel's going to get to that point again.
Oh,
He's going to go ghost.
Not go Yeah, he'll enter the subconscious state again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it might be too soon. I want to say I hope he has another plan to call in reinforcements once they get to this point.
I mean, maybe that's what the other guy was for. I can't remember his name.
Dew?
Yeah. That might be what Dew's
Dude,
for.
he's knocked the fuck out, man. His face looks like the Scream mask, bro.
You never know, though, man. He could have called Vasco.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I got a feeling this. I mean, even though he's right there with him, like, there's got to be something. If he thought about it this far, there's got to be something else going on.
Man, you know who I would love to see show up just for the matchmaking? Because I think the fights I want to see is, of course, the rematch with Manager Kim and Warren. I think Daniel would have to fight Samuel. I think that makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the president, bro, just bring in Logan. Just fuck it, bro.
Oh, dude, yes. Yes.
So, another solid chapter for Lookism, man. God damn.
But next week, though.
Next week, though.
It's gonna be bonkers. You guys don't know.
Oh, I know. I can't wait.
Dude, I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, so I'm very looking forward to next week or the next 2 weeks until we get to the next episode here to see what's going on in Lookism. And, you know, I gotta say, one thing I really like about the arc is how fast we got to this moment. Because we're only eight chapters in. And I think that goes to show how serious we're getting now for the arcs.
Yeah, you know, there's not that, like, build-up that there was for Hostel or any of the previous arcs. You know, like, it's like, okay, we've done, this is what we're doing now. This is the story we're telling. Like, we're going to roll with it.
So with that, I think it's safe to say we can go ahead and wrap up this episode for the week. And we'll be going back to every other week on the episodes. So no new one next week. So while we wait for that stuff, man, remember you can follow us on social media at unversedpodcast, anywhere you go. Also in the description, I'll throw in the link for Zombie Makeout Club's Twitter, so you can check out their art and all that. They'll have the link as well to their Webtoon series. Really like the art, man. I dig it. I always like it when I see them at cons. So that'll be there. And if you want to send us an email, if you have any questions or comments, that's unversedpodcast@gmail.com. And that's all for today, guys. Thanks for swinging by. Catch you on the next episode.